today's event. This event is an annual conference hosted by the IPYG, which brings together youth leaders from all around the world. The IPYG is an affiliated organization of YEPW, which is registered under the UN ECOSOC. The IPYG was established by youth whose purpose was to protect themselves from the threats around the world and to leave peace as a legacy for future generations. IPYG currently works in cooperation with over 1,000 organizations in 119 countries around the world. In 2015, the UN Security Council adopted a resolution urging the active participation of young people in international peace and security and the role of member states in this regard. This is a prime example of the importance of the role of young people in achieving peace in our time. IPYG is proposing that young people from all around the world would come together to solve the many challenges we face. This year, the conference will be held under the theme of Discussion on Running Youth Engagement and Peacebuilding Working Group, YEPW, globally, commemorating the 9th anniversary of the September 18th HWPL World Peace Summit. During this time, we will share cases of YEPW progress by region and establish our annual work plan. Just as young people have been pioneers in making progress throughout history, this conference is expected to be a starting point for a peaceful future and a time for young people all around the world to come together. Before we begin, I would like to introduce our honored guests who are attending today's conference. Please give a warm round of applause for each guest as I introduce them. Former Prime Minister of Armenia, Right Honorable Rat Bagratan. Former Vice President of Gambia, Her Excellency, Dr. Isatau Toure. Next, as this is a special youth event, I will introduce you to youth leaders from each country. Minister of Youth and Sports in Sao Tome and Principe, Honorable Eurides Medeiros. Former Minister of Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts in Zambia, Honorable Emmanuel Mulinga. Secretary General of United Nations Youth Association of Kenya, Mr. Noah Amrano. Professor of International Relation Theory at the University of Peace, Timor-Leste, Professor João Antonio Suarez. President of We Can Group, Nepal, Mr. Rajan Panthi. Thank you. I apologize for not being able to call out everyone due to time constraints. Please give a big round of applause to all the guests who are attending this conference and to all those who have come to advance the world of peace. Thank you. Continuing on, former Prime Minister of Armenia, Right Honorable Rat Bagratan, has prepared a speech for today's IPYG conference. He served as the 4th Prime Minister of Armenia from 1993 to 1996 and is currently holding a position of Professor of Economics at the Russian Armenian University. We will now welcome former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Rat Bagratan. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. Dear friends, members of Peace family, ladies and gentlemen, Chairman Lee, presence, and the others. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light has led initiatives that propose multi-dimensional strategies inclusive of governments, intergovernmental organizations, and civil society in the efforts of the implementing conflict resolution and establishing peace. HWPL hosted the September 18th World Peace Summit in 2014 with leaders in politics, religion, women's groups, youth groups, and the media in attendance. HWPL and leaders of the various sectors convened to discuss conflict resolution, establishing peace and mutual cooperation, and signed landmark agreements on building and implementing solid systems for cooperation. The agreement to propose the enactment of international law for the cessation of wars and the world peace, signed during 2014 conference, led to the declaration of peace and cessation of war, which reaffirms the major international conventions for peace, sets out methods of resolving modernized conflicts, and emphasizes the role of nation states, speakers, guidelines, and civil society for achieving peace. It was followed by a citizen-led global campaign, the Legislate Peace project, which aims at incorporating peace in the legal order to build a global community to coexistence and harmony. Echoing the citizens' demands for peace as a norm, in which cultural and social rules are shared by all citizens, the LP project is expanding its scope to the conservation and environmental preservation, relief, education, and empowerment of women and youth. In addition, HWPL is carrying out various initiatives to build sustainable peace. HWPL Peace Education that fosters peace values among future generations is being conducted in 90 countries, and the International Peace Youth Group, an organization under HWPL, has formed a youth engagement and peace-building working group around affiliated organizations in 119 countries, seeking to maintain citizen-led peace and promote a culture of peace. It also mediates communication between conflicting parties in various disputed regions and strives to raise citizens' awareness of peace through peace journalism, research, and peace media networks. I would like to mention the importance of the role of the young people in solving many of the problems facing the global community. At this point, absolutely necessary to encourage IPYG to serve as a platform for young people from 119 countries to cooperate. Also, I would like to mention the Youth Peace Building Working Group, expected to have an active role in realizing peace in the community. Let me also to draw your attention to one more fact. For 8 months now, Azerbaijan has closed the Lachin corridor and besieged 120,000 Armenians living in Nagorno-Karabakh. The situation worsens day by day. There is a hunger, there is no food, there is no medicine. 35,000 kids are hungry. Applications of international organizations, countries, prosecutors, and courts are ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we are here to build a peace. Sometimes our effort may not look sufficient, satisfactory. Maybe it's just a drop in the sea, but I'm sure sooner or later we have to come to the haven of peace. Dear all the peace families of the world, let us arc and support all the situations to be resolved through peaceful means. We are one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please once again give a big round of applause to former Prime Minister of Armenia, Right Honorable Rat Bagration. Next, for the youth attending this conference, former Vice President of Gambia, Her Excellency Dr. Issatau Touré, has prepared a speech. Her Excellency Dr. Issatau Touré was a role model for many women as the first female presidential candidate in Gambia and served as the 10th Vice President of Gambia from 2019 to 2022. We will now welcome former Vice President, Her Excellency Dr. Issatau Touré. Please give her a big round of applause.
The chairperson, the Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light, members of this September gathering, all other protocols duly and respectively observed. Chairperson, I am very delighted to be among this gathering to witness the 9th anniversary of the September 18th YEPW World Peace Summit in Seoul, South Korea. I wish to congratulate the organizers and advocates on this auspicious day. May peace reign and be with all of us. Peace is the most important element that is needed on earth. We need peace for Mother Earth to survive and nurture its progeny, who are humans, animals, and all the elements that constitute the ecosystem. Recently, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the world. In most parts of the world, we are witnessing a number of calamities, conflicts, and crises that have created very difficult situations to live a peaceful life and well-being. People are displaced as a result of climate change, wars, and conflicts. Most of these are man-made and can be averted if we take the right steps to address them. Our environments are responding to climate crisis, resulting in flood, fires and eruptions and explosions, with people losing lives, animals and communities. And the whole ecosystem is in a state of disruption. All these have exacerbated challenges that have implications for planet Earth and our future. If efforts are not made to address the multifaceted climate crisis, conflict escalates, the world risks losing everything. Families, communities, and all other development work are affected. Who will be adversely affected if peace does not reign? In a nutshell, everybody stands to lose, but the effects of the crisis will have a long-lasting effect on our young people, who are the current and future generations of leaders and decision makers to benefit from the spoils of Mother Earth. Therefore, youth have a critical role to play to ensure that peace reigns. Here, I want to ask, who are youth? Youth typically refers to the stage of life between childhood and adulthood. It's a time of growth, exploration, and transition, characterized by physical, emotional, and cognitive development. Youth is often associated with qualities like energy, curiosity, creativity, and a willingness to embrace change. It's a critical phase where individuals form their identities, values, and aspirations, laying the foundation for their future roles in society. If the environment is disabling and in constant crisis and conflict, can you achieve these milestones? Peace can be defined as a state of harmony, both within individuals and among societies. It's not merely the absence of conflict or violence, but also the presence of understanding, cooperation, and respect. Peace encompasses social, political, economic, and environmental dimensions. It involves resolving disputes through non-violent means, fostering equitable development, and ensuring that fundamental human rights are protected. The role of peace in the lives of youth and the world. Here, peace plays a crucial role in the lives of youth and the broader world. Here are some key aspects of its significance. Education. Peaceful environments are conducive to education. Youth can access quality education without the disruptions caused by conflict. Education equips them with the skills and knowledge needed to address societal challenges and contribute positively to their societies. Innovation and program. Peace stimulates innovation and creativity. Youth are more likely to explore new ideas, collaborate across diverse backgrounds, and contribute to technological and social advancements in peaceful settings. Social cohesion. Peace contributes to social cohesion by promoting tolerance, understanding, and respect among diverse groups. Youth growing up in peaceful environments are more likely to embrace diversity and reject prejudices and stereotypes. Global collaboration. In a world where nations are interconnected, peace is essential for international collaboration. Youth can work together across borders to address global issues such as climate change, poverty, and public health. Economic prosperity. Peace is linked to economic prosperity. When nations are at peace, trade flourishes, investments flow, and economic development is possible. This creates opportunities for youth to find meaningful employment and contribute to economic growth, hence self-actualize and reach their potentials. Sustainable development. Achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, requires peace. Youth can actively participate in achieving these goals, from eradicating poverty to promoting gender equality when they are not hindered by conflict or war. Civic education. Peaceful societies encourage youth to engage in civic activities, from volunteering to participating in democratic processes. Engaged youth contribute to the full strengthening of institutions and the preservation of democratic values. Legacy of a better world. By promoting peace, youth can leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. They can have the opportunity to contribute to a world characterized by empathy, cooperation, and sustainable progress. In summary, peace is not just a distant ideal, it's a tangible and essential element for the well-being and success of youth and the world at large. It promotes the foundation upon which young individuals can shape their lives, contribute to their communities, and create a positive impact on the global stage. The role of youth in sustaining global peace. Distinguished guests, fellows, students, and advocates of peace. As we gather here today, let us reflect upon the profound impact that youth can have on the pursuits of global peace. The world we inhabit is a dynamic tapestry of cultures, ideologies, and aspirations. Yet, amid this diversity, the shared longing for peace unites us all. Youth, with their unquenchable thirst for change, are uniquely positioned to shape the future landscape of peace. Our generation has inherited a world that bears the scars of past conflicts and prejudices. However, this legacy is not our destiny. It is a challenge for us to overcome. The first step towards peace is understanding the different viewpoints, histories, and struggles. Youth armed with the tools of education and information can bridge the gap between generations and nations. By learning about each other, we shatter stereotypes and cultivate empathy. But understanding alone is not enough. We must actively engage in dialogue, even when faced with opposing perspectives. Dialogue fosters not only understanding, but also respect. It is a powerful mechanism for dissolving the animosities that breed conflict. Innovation and technology, which are second nature to us, can only play a pivotal role in achieving peace through social media. We can spread messages of unity and tolerance to corners of the world that were previously unreachable. We can collaborate across borders to find sustainable solutions to global challenges, from climate change to poverty. One must not underestimate the power of advocacy. The youth of today are agents of change, unafraid to stand up for justice and peace. By raising our voices, we compel governments, institutions, society as a whole to take notice and take action. In closing, let us remember that peace is not a distant dream, but a tangible goal that demands our active participation. Youth are not just the leaders of today, tomorrow, they are the leaders of today. Let us seize this responsibility and work hand in hand to create a world where conflicts are resolved through dialogue, differences are celebrated, and the pursuit of peace is our shared purpose. We are one. I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, you have given a message of great expectations and encouragement to the young people who will be the leaders of the coming era. Please give a big round of applause again. Chairman of HWPL, Liman He, is entering the room. Please rise and welcome him with a round of applause. Thank you. Next, we will have a welcome speech by the Chairman of HWPL, Liman He. Please be seated, our honorable guests. Thank you. Thank you. Next.
This time, for the young adults, for the youth, I heard it's the time for the youth. Is that right? Even if I just hear the word youth, I feel good. If you think about it in terms of the world of religion, in the future, they say that in the future everybody will live as youth. The word youth is a very good word. If it weren't for the youth, we couldn't do anything. Even in protecting the nation, it's the youth that's protecting the nation, right? That's why the youth are very good. If you look at it in terms of Buddhism, there aren't too many youth. But the reason why it's good to have a lot of youth, if you look at the Bible, the word youth appears a lot. It's good to actually be young, right? The reason why I say it is because this world, it belongs to the youth. So I'm saying it so that the youth would be able to work really hard. And so the youth, they should actually be active in doing the work and in protecting the nation. Currently, the youth are protecting the nation. They go to the military and they protect the nations. I also carried out a life in the military, so I know a little bit about it. And if so, the youth, they must protect the world, and in doing the work of hindering war and bringing wars to an end, the youth should do that work too. And in order to do that, in order to achieve a world of peace, they have to make efforts. We have to make efforts so that the world would have no more wars, whether it be in the schools or in societies, or even in the world of religion. the youth has to actually play an active role in each sector. And also, instead of expecting others to do the work, in your youth, with all your strength, in all things, I hope that you are active in doing the work. Whether it be the young youth, they should not be used in fighting wars, but to develop nations. That's what the youth should be spending their energy on, in developing the nations. And in the future generations, and in terms of the people who are older, the young adults, the youth should be able to take care of them as well. So in all aspects, they have to be capable in this aspect and in that aspect as well. When I looked at a certain scripture, it says in the future, people will become younger and they'll live as youth. I saw that kind of scripture. People have flesh that their bodies become older, but their hearts don't get older, actually. And if it was according to our hearts, if we just took off our physical bodies, we would live just as youth. Isn't that right? Because our hearts don't get older. It would be nice if it was like that. But in the world of religion, it might be possible. But right now, in whether it be in terms of reality, our reality is not like that. Whether it be this or that, because it's a time for the youth, for all the youth, with your youth, you should have courage to do all things and do the work accordingly. I'm also actually asking the youth to do a lot of work. It's most of the work the youth must do. I say that. There's something that's very important. With our hearts, we protect our nation, we protect our families. But in war, you can't conduct a war without youth, actually. That doesn't mean that we need the youth to fight. That's not right. No matter what nation it is, it's the youth that die in war. But when people get older, they become useless and the youth is gone. But the youth, they have to actually consider their time as precious as the youth. Whether it be in the society or whether in the military, it's good to actually have the youth. So the youth shouldn't forget that. In all things, the youth should be in the front line and make efforts. In war, I saw so many atrocities. I was originally just a farmer, but when I went to war, I came out surviving the war without dying. So when I came home, in a wide field, we had a plot of land. And in that land, we built like a hut. And in nighttime, in the wide field, I prayed before God. Why did I pray? I wasn't carrying out a life of faith at that time, but I saw so many atrocities in war that I wanted to thank God of heaven. That's why I prayed that prayer. I wasn't a believer, but I believe that there is a God in heaven. And so I prayed. At nighttime, there's a bird that made that sound. that said chit chit chit, that made the sound at night.
노절의 말을 문자로도 씁니다. 날마 새마 찝찝찝 그 말을 하는데
And people make that sound.
노절의 소리만 나는 그
And when that in that field that made that sound, every night I prayed a prayer to God saying thank you.
머리가 어떻게
Then
이 꿈이나 환상이 아니고요.
it wasn't a dream, but in reality,
하나의 큰 빛의 사람.
I saw a great being of light.
우리의 전도로 바뀌나
It wasn't like I was evangelized, or it's not like I carried out a life of faith because I wanted to,
있어 가지고
but this kind of event occurred, and that's how I started out my life of faith.
지나한 이야기를 하고 싶어서
I'm not standing here to actually talk about my life of faith, but
그래서 모든 사람들이
so all people,
인류 세계에 위해서
for the sake of mankind,
나라와 민족을 위해서
and for the nation and people,
일을 한다면 이를 위해서 일을 해야 되지 않겠습니까?
we have to work for them.
그래서 어떤 조직이나
So no matter what kind of organization,
기에서 있든지
no matter what kind of position I hold,
맡은 사명은 다 해야
we have to do our duties.
그렇습니다. 그래서 청년들만 보면
So when I look at the youth, I'm very envious of their youth.
그러나
But
이 사람이 항시 청년으로만 현재 있는
it's not like people are always staying in that stage of youth.
해서 사람이 나이 먹어서 청년을 버리는 것은 아니지.
Just because you become older doesn't mean you threw away your youth, because our heart is like a youth.
좋지.
Only the outside becomes old.
청년한 마음이 있는데
So we have the heart of a youth.
벗어버리면은
If we took off our outside, we would only remain as youth. That would be the case.
주인들이 하는 말입니다.
That's actually words that people of religion might say.
우리는 이제 모든 마음을 합해서
So we should gather our hearts. It's not just the youth, but if we have the title of being a person,
우리가 해야 할 바 일을
we should do what we need to do. We should be able to do what we need to do.
해야 된다고 봅니다.
That's what I think.
너무나 이 사람은 가난하게 살기
I lived in such poverty,
때문에 아주
and even when I went to military,
말로 형용할 수 없는
I couldn't express in words what I experienced.
때는
And at one time,
이렇게
why
것을 보게 하고
do you make me experience all these things? Why do you make me see all these things? How are you going to use me? That's what I thought.
정말
But
젊음이 좋습니다.
truly, youth is good.
뭐라고
Whether it be war or whether it be anything, without youth, we can't do it.
우리도 청년들도 일 잘하고
So
사람 해줘야 되고
the ones who can work, they need to work hard.
사람들이 다 살아가는 자기 나름대로의 하나의 삶의 모든 것은 있을 것입니다.
Each person has their life.
우리는 이 세상에 살아
And as we live in this world,
전쟁도 보고
we witnessed so many wars and so many things. Now, in the future,
그런 것은 없어져야 되겠죠.
those things that aren't right should disappear,
평화를 이루고 가야 된다.
and we have to achieve peace.
평화를 이루어 가야 된다는
We must achieve peace.
이 평화를 이루어서
And as we achieve peace,
유산보다도
more than any legacy, we should give the world of peace to the future generations.
그를 위해서
And for that,
노력을 하고 있고요.
I'm making an effort as well.
이 사람은 많은 사람과 더불어 살아가고 있어요.
I'm living with working with people. It's not just 100,000, but 200,000.
세계적으로도
But
상당히
I'm working with a lot of people around the world.
각국마다
From each nation, I go to each nation
마음을 심어놔서
and I plant my heart in each of those nations.
하게 모두 다
So
추수하면 한테 모아지겠죠.
So if we gather all these people, we'd be able to gather all together, right? That's what I've been doing. That's what we've been doing.
이래서 세계 각국
So
저
worldwide, each nation, whether it be even the islands, I worked and went to those places.
우리 평화 운동에
This was actually the beginning of the work of peace.
모두 다 자기를 지키고
And we all must protect ourselves. We must protect our family. We must protect our nations. Shouldn't we do that?
전쟁은 아니고
Not
말입니다.
war.
이렇게 하기 위해서는
And in order to do that,
믿고
we must trust each other and be united and work together.
되기를 바라는
I hope that that's possible.
그리고
And also,
하나가 있으면은
if there's one, there's also two. throughout the world, regarding the work of peace, everyone should participate. Whether it be young people or children, anyone could become a messenger of peace, right? If you look at the heavens are high and quiet. And if you look at the earth, it's wide. And within this world, we are living. Let us create a better world. Let us create a better society. Let's make an effort to do so. We should do that. And also, we should not do worse. If you look at the animals in the mountains, they don't cause wars. They just eat on their own and they live on their own. And not just that, even the flowers in the field or the grass, they born and they live according to themselves. Then people, should we fight and cause wars? We shouldn't do that. If we have that much of a perception, then we should love one another. We should cooperate with one another and be able to work together and live together. Shouldn't we do that? That's what we should do. So whether it be one or two things, if we go a step further, go forth, then we can be a world of peace. That's what I think. You too, if you have that same kind of heart, whether it be the schools or everybody should cooperate and make an effort to create a world of peace. I wanted to say these words. We're not two, but we're one. Under the title of peace, we are one. And also today, we have this gathering today. All the things that happen within the gathering, let's not erase what's inside the gatherings. Store it in your eyes as well. Store it in your eyes, store it in our hearts, and eternally, let's be able to live together eternally. Thank you very much.
Once again, let's give a big round of applause to Chairman Lee. Thank you, Chairman Lee, for his unwavering love for young people around the world. It is through that love that our youth aspire to protect their own lives and the peace of the global community, relying on their own strength. Now, to commemorate this event, we will proceed with a photo session. Yes, everyone, Chairman Lee of HWPL, who gave a precious welcome speech to the distinguished guests and young people gathered here today, will be leaving first to his next schedule. We will take two photos. First, we will take a photo in a standing position. Please look directly at the camera in front of you and show a bright smile for the global family. We will take a photo. Thank you. We will take a photo shouting, "We are one," and raising our right index finger. Then we will take a photo. 1, 2, 3. We are one. Thank you. Please give a round of applause to Chairman Lee, who loves young people around the world more than anyone else and is working hard to create a world without war. Yes, thank you. Please take your seats. We will continue the International Youth Peace Conference. First, we will watch a special video introducing IPYG.
IPYG was founded on May 25, 2013 with the Declaration of World Peace. IPYG is calling out to the youth of the world for two things. First, to unite in an effort to stop wars. Second, pursue the restoration of peace. IPYG's vision has resonated with young people around the world and has now become the world's largest youth peace network, with youth organizations from 119 countries working together. IPYG is conducting 3 campaigns for sustainable peace. The LP project calls upon the establishment of an international law that can prohibit war and maintain peace. YEPW, Youth Engagement and Peacebuilding Working Group. This is a regional youth platform for young people around the world to explore their roles in peacebuilding and promote cooperation. YEPC, Youth Empowerment Peace Class. We offer educational programs for young people around the world under the slogan, Education for All, Education for Youth, Education for You. A new world can begin today. For a better tomorrow, IPYG.
Next, we will have a welcome speech and a presentation on the activities of IPYG, an international youth organization that is working to end war and achieve peace with over 1,000 organizations in 119 countries. Please welcome General Director of the IPYG, Chong Young-min, with a big round of applause.
Greetings. Welcome, greetings. My name is Peter Zhang, the General Director of IPYG. Well, first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the distinguished guests here for attending 2023 International Youth Peace Conference. Today's gathering holds very special significance among the events on our schedule because it represents a profound and meaningful occasion where the youth can take center stage to present their vision for world peace and engage in discussions on its implementation. So it is evident that not only the youth leaders here, but also the many esteemed leaders here have joined us today with great expectation. During this session, I'm going to introduce the initiative called Youth Engagement and Peacebuilding Working Group, YEPW, and vision, background behind this project as well. Following that, 4 youth leaders will take stage to share their implementation practices and future plans of their working group in the respective region. All right, let's move on. In 2020, the world faced unforeseen pandemic. It was an event that nobody could have predicted, leading to serious disruptions in many countries. And the IPYG was very concerned about the students experiencing prolonged period of school suspension because the inability to attend the school resulted in various issues arising from disrupted education and the experience of a safe haven in the form of school. Sometimes it caused serious issues such as child labor and human rights violations and so on. So we examined that this is really serious, so we held emergency meetings with youth organizations by continents. The youth share similar age range, but they are diverse in terms of professions, gender, language, religions, and so on. However, the commonality of being youthful opens their heart to connect and stand in solidarity. After a series of discussions with the youth organizations, we began a new project which was called Youth Empowerment Peace class, YEPC. YEPC is a non-formal educational program for those who lack access to the educational opportunities. Well, in order to make this program, many youth contribute with what they could do from their own position. For example, some youth contribute by utilizing their expertise in creating the educational material. Some youth puts efforts to open a website so that this program can be accessible from any country in the world. And at the same time, some youth provided meals to the participants, and while others shared their office spaces to the local youth for temporary classroom. And even some youth went to remote area where there is no internet access in order to distribute printed materials and conduct lectures by themselves. As a result, this program became a global initiative where the youth from 55 nations participate in just 1 year. Isn't it amazing how our friends can cooperate to help one another? Isn't it? Yeah, I think it's really awesome. Let's give a big round of applause to one another. Well, the case of this program was introduced in UNESCO side event last year, where it commemorated the World Youth Day, and it gained a lot of attention. From this experience, we gained courage and confidence that the youth indeed can contribute something to the world and change the world. However, there were challenges in reality. The international community has organizations like United Nations or various conferences where the leaders can meet and talk regularly. Such opportunities are scarce to the youth. That's why the IPYG thought if we can become crossroad where the youth come and go freely, then it will create new opportunities for the youth. So we decided to be a platform. As a result, we created a new initiative which was called Youth Engagement Peacebuilding Working Group, YEPW. YEPW is open for anyone working for peace. And there are already regular meetings taking place. I believe that through this working group, we can achieve a lot of things. And even sometimes we can have solutions to the problems that the nations alone cannot solve. Today, I'm going to share some examples of how we can use this working group to advance and develop your own initiative. And I want you to have tips and clues to your advancement of initiative. First, we can become mediators in conflict. Since around 2020, Ethiopia has been facing armed conflict. It was really serious and many innocent civilians have been sacrificed. And sometimes there were crimes against humanity under international law. So we thought that this is really serious and we need to do something. So we had meetings with local youth organizations, and we tried to find solution to one of the causes, which was conflict and tension between the tribes in Ethiopia. So we held multiple workshops where we invited youth leaders from various tribes and had conversation. The event went well, and the slogan was under the slogan, Building One Ethiopia. Everybody was peaceful, and the dialogue could be peaceful because the youth the youth were at the core of the conversation. So we thought that we can do something even in the conflicting area. There was another groundbreaking news in Cameroon. There's one region in Cameroon where there's a dispute and tension between English-speaking residents and French-speaking residents. And in order to reconcile them, we discussed with the local youth organizations, and they said the power of sports is mighty. So from that idea, we developed the idea and we held Peace Soccer Tournament. Before the game, they couldn't even have simple conversation. However, after this game, they held hands together, they pledged that they will not make issue and they will try to reconcile in the region. The two cases that I mentioned above have not been fully resolved yet. But I believe that we found clues on what the youth can do as mediators in conflict. Because extending a hand and having peaceful conversation and making a peaceful movement and atmosphere is something the youth can do more easily. So we saw many examples in history that where there's desire and efforts of citizens and they can transform a course of an era. So we believe that these efforts will bear fruit someday. And I want you to become and join this movement. Second example of how we can use this working group is to address social issue. Entering 21st century, the United Nations has been actively calling on civil society, especially young people, to face challenges the world had. After Russia-Ukraine war, there was an increasing number of refugee population in Europe. Among them, Switzerland had unavoidable negative perception towards refugees. So with the cooperation with local social welfare organizations and various activities, we held cultural event that was called Get Together. During the 6 sessions of this event, we invited refugees in the area and then residents in the area as well. And we had a chance for them to introduce each other and share their cultural differences in order to understand each other. And then they promised to harmonize in the region, and they also promised not to make issue as a social issue. Right. My last example that I want to address today is we can complement weaknesses and share strengths through this working group. When I traveled around the world, I've met many youth leaders. Sometimes I was deeply moved by their dedication. Sometimes I was brought my tears because of the sacrifices they did. However, it's always unfortunate to see the situation where their initiative face barriers that hinder the progress. Okay, but if you join this working group, we can complement weaknesses and share the strengths so that both organizations can grow. We all can grow. Let's take education initiative as an example. Let's say there are 2 organizations. One organization has excellent system so that they can provide and protect the students very well. However, they have a thirst for high quality content for the education. And there's another organization having excellent educational material, but they don't have opportunities to use them. If these organizations can meet and cooperate through this working group, they can complement what they need, and then they can share what they have as strengths. It will create new opportunities. Right now, the IPYG has more than 1,000 organizations from 119 countries. It's a huge network. So if you join, and if you spread these news to the other organizations and let them join us, then our network will be bigger, and then you will have more chances, and you can seize new chances for your development and advancement. Last but not least, I shared my 3 examples and then the background and then why I'm introducing the YEPW to you today, and I explained what you can get from this working group. Last but not least, I would like to propose one more thing. This is urge to you to support the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW. DPCW is an advanced principle for peace. It strengthens the prohibition of use of force and foster culture of peace, and it can strengthen the possibility to find peaceful resolution. So if you join us, and if the DPCW can be adopted as United Nations General Assembly resolution, then we will have concrete basement for world peace. So I want you to propose my last word. Please join to support the DPCW together until it can be adopted and recognizes higher in the international society. Now, I'm going to give my stage to other speakers so that they can share their implementation practices. Before I leave, I would like to leave my last word. Peace can be achievable not by words, but by your action. So, until you go back to your own country, please don't forget that you put it into action. Then we can change something to your vision, and eventually we can achieve world peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was a meaningful speech proposing the solidarity of young people around the world for world peace. Please give a big round of applause again. Now, we will have presentations by 4 young leaders. Let me introduce you to the young leaders who will share with you the status and plans of the YEPW activities underway in each country. Secretary General of United Nations Youth Association of Kenya, Mr. Noah Amrano. Professor of International Relation Theory at the University of Peace, Timor-Leste, Professor João Antonio Suarez. President of We Can Group Nepal, Mr. Rajan Panthi. Project Director of IPYG Mongolia, Ms. Kulan. Please give them a big round of applause, everyone. Today, young leaders from 4 countries, Kenya, Timor-Leste, Nepal, and Mongolia, are here to present the status and plans of the YEPW. After the presentations of the 4 speakers, there will be a Q&A session. Please note that the Q&A session will be conducted based on questions received in advance. Okay then, let's first listen to the presentation by Secretary General of United Nations Youth Association of Kenya, Mr. Noah Amrano. He has been serving as Secretary General and Representative of Kenya in United Nations, the Youth Association of Kenya, since 2016, and he has been working with tireless passion for the growth and development of Kenya's future generations. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. Chairman Lee, the Director for IPYG, distinguished guests, members of the peace, all protocols observed. Anyonga Seyo. Johun Uhum Ibdida. My good name is Noah Amrono, and as have you heard, I'm the Secretary General for United Nations Youth Association of Kenya. I'm also a born-again Christian by faith, and by the grace of God, I would like to share with you a speech that I have under the topic, Educational Approach to Fostering Collaborative Peace Building. First of all, I'd like to really thank Chairman Lee in absentia of HWPL and all the members of the IPYG group for inviting me here to this event. I'm equally happy and honored to be here to represent my country, Kenya, and to share our story of peace with HWPL and IPYG. While working for peace in Kenya, I got to know two global peace organizations, that is IPYG and HWPL. And HWPL's peace work has really inspired me to create sustainable peace based on the DPCW and empower youth to become peace workers themselves. HWPL and IPYG have provided a number of peace-oriented training programs and activities to empower African youth to lead their futures. And so today I am here to share with you the history of peace work that HWPL and IPYG have been doing with young people in Kenya, as well as their vision for future peace work. Starting with the talk concert with Kenyan young people in 2018, HWPL and IPYG organized peace walks for the declaration of world peace with a total of 600 youth and community members for 3 times between 2018 and 2023. More than 700 letters of support for the DPCW were collected through the Peace Letter campaign. However, as we all know, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this prevented us from all activities, and so IPYG started the Youth Empowerment Peace Class, that is YEPC in Kenya. IPYG proactively implemented Zoom online classes as part of its ICT capacity building program to help young people access education and establish educational platforms called YEPC, which includes trainings on various topics such as parents, youth, religion, and career or character advancement. And this was done to strengthen their capacity as global citizens. YEPC has produced graduates, and thus the Youth Empowerment Peace Workshop, that is YEPW, in Kenya began. And this led me to join IPYG in submitting a joint statement condemning anti-government protest violence in Kenya in July this year, and calling for a peaceful resolution, including the IPYG. The United Nations Youth Association and 14 affiliated organizations, together with IPYG, made a call for peace, urging all leaders and all interested parties to resolve the situation peacefully through meaningful dialogue and supporting the efforts of political parties for peaceful resolution. Growing up with peace, these young people have gone on to become even more active in peace activism since the pandemic. Scott, who's the Secretary General for Kenya Model United Nations, and who had also participated in the YEPC program, invited the IPYG Chief Branch Manager in Kenya to speak at the Kenya Model UN Conference in March this year, earlier this year, at the United Nations office in Nairobi. As a result of this event, the Model UN signed an MOU with the IPYG in May at the 10th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace in Kenya, where over 200 members of the organization participated. We are still planning and carrying out many activities for peace work. As UNYA Kenya, we believe that the future of Kenya and the young people who will lead the future, it is crucial to resolve conflicts, the conflicts that we are facing peacefully, and to instill a culture of peace in the current generation. Education is the foundation of building sustainable peace in a world plagued by conflict and division, and therefore we must renew our commitment to an educational approach for sustainable peace. And so we want to take a two-pronged approach. The first one is to spread the spread of YEPW across the country, aimed at learning peace by doing. As UNYA Kenya, we have a large number of young people in each of the regions in Kenya. Collaborative peace building is possible. In particular, based on the IPYG MOU signed by the Kenya Model UN, we will build an active network of collaboration with the IPYG when implementing collaborative peace activities such as youth leadership trainings conducted by the United Nations Institution of Kenya, which I am a member of, and regular invitation to SDG-related events. We will also implement the Peace Supporters Program in collaboration with the IPYG to train young people as supporters to become true peace leaders. We will also introduce the results of HWPL, IPYG, and the YEPW's activities at a gathering of representatives from the county governments across the country, every May, so that YEPW's activities can serve as a model for all regions or all county governments in Kenya and engage the civil society. We will also work on networking at the national level to ensure that peace activities are supported by practical institutions and that we can work together. Secondly, we will provide various opportunities for young people, in particular, to lay the groundwork for youth sovereignty to be realized. We will regularly give lectures on peace and leadership at schools that are members of United Nations Institution of Kenya and the Kenya Model United Nations. We will also work on the LP campaigns for youth to organize in their schools with the IPYG so that the DPCW can be introduced to the United Nations and give lectures on peace so that young people can constantly practice peace. In order for Kenya to move towards peace, we will have all youth organizations in Kenya join YEPW through the local governments and representatives from the 47 county governments, and also create an extended YEPW peace project. As I conclude, let me remind us that war begins in the mind, and as such, we need to create a paradigm shift by rewriting history through a new world order that begins in our minds today, here and now. Let us plant seeds of peace in our minds. Let us continue this dialogue. Let us continue to learn from one another, and let us continue to strive together for a world where peace is not just a distant dream, but a living reality. In closing, let me echo the sentiments of our director by quoting scripture from the Bible in the book of Matthew chapter 5, which says that, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God." And when I look at this podium here, I see children of God seated all around. Let us give peace a chance. We are one. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give a big round of applause again. Now let's listen to the presentation by Professor of International Relation Theory at the University of Peace, Timor-Leste, Professor João Antonio Suarez. He has been serving as a professor of International Relation Theory at the University of Peace in Timor-Leste since 2010, and he has been teaching many students about the importance and value of peace. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Good evening, all of us here. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed advocates of peace. Greetings and salutation. I am honored to stand before you today as João Antonio Suarez, a professor of international relations at University of Peace in Timor-Leste. Allow me to express my deep gratitude to Chairman Lee, head of YEPW, whose unwavering commitment has paved the way for this remarkable World Peace Summit. I extend my appreciation to each individual present, united by their passion for peace. My journey with YEPW and IPYG began in 2022 when I joined the online World Peace Summit in witnessing Chairman Lee's steadfast dedication and ceaseless effort of the peace-driving volunteers. I was deeply moved. Their impact of getting in peace is real and powerful. This motivated me to join hands with them and work towards bringing peace and prosperity to my own homeland, Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste is young, having gained independence in 2002 from Indonesia. Our story includes time, like the violence in 1999 and later coups in 2006. This event left scars, reminding us of the cause of conflict. We are committed to teaching the youth the value of peace and love so they won't repeat these mistakes. Its WPL and IPYZ have designed the imperative of empowering and youth and steering peace-building initiative in Timor-Leste. This recognition leads to the formation of the Youth Engagement and Peace-Building Working Group, or YEPW, intended with government officials as well as youth organizations and university students. Together, we embarked on the momentous journey to transform Dili, the capital of Timor-Leste, into a city of peace. Under the visionary guidance of IPYG Global Branch 4, we conceived the Public Peace Art Project, an endeavor that to decorate Dili's wall with the vibrant colors of peace mural painting, with the volunteer hands of young people, local artists, university students, and high schoolers. This united effort of each WPL in Timor-Leste has the potential to convey the values of peace to all who look at the peace mural paintings. Simultaneously, it can promote local tourism as these beautiful decorated murals reflect Timor-Leste culture, history, and aspirations. Additionally, the enthusiastic involvement of the youth volunteers can nurture social cohesion and unity within the community, igniting a sense of the ownership among the youth, empowering them to shape the future of their city with their own hands. However, our journey has been easy. We have faced challenges convicting different groups to support our cause. We needed permission to our city walls, support of paint supplies, mural design, and youth participation. We initiated dialogue with Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Francisco Calvarilay, and Minister Nelly Isaac Sarmento, Minister of Youth, Sport, Art and Culture. Their unwavering support granted us the privilege of adorning the city walls with the message of peace. The Sanana Sports Center wall, located at the heart of Delhi, began our canvas, sending the message of peace to all who pass by. Getting the paint supplies was a challenge. The team of IPYG Global Branch 4 showed remarkable dedication in their pursuit of finding a company willing to provide the necessary paint without cost. Through continuous effort, Finol Patel, an international hardware company, emerged as a gracious support. Mr. Fikasi Ray, the operation manager in Delhi, generously promised to supply the essential paints and brushes. This was a big leap forward for us. We, YEPW Working Group, also reached out to university students from 6 institutions and in Delhi. Their ardent enthusiasm filling out project with fresh vigor. The Korean Art Association contributed to mural design, while 10 local Timor-Leste artists from Artemoris provide guidance and outline the design. It truly began a team effort. The culmination of our tireless effort manifested on July 21, 2023, as the launching ceremony of the HWPL Public Peace Art Project was held at the Sanana Sports Center Event Hall. Influential guests, including the Minister of Youth, Sport, Art and Culture, and Senior Advisor for Ministerial and Governmental Affairs, personally attending and congratulate the event. The presence of university presidents, vice presidents, and leaders of various youth organizations, alongside the students representing 6 universities, serve in vivid testimony to the collective dedication of our youth. 7 media platforms include State National Broadcaster RTTL, covered the event, spreading the message of peace far and wide. Right now, our project is in full swing. Local artists and university students are transforming our city with the message of peace, creativity, and unity. The wall that initially looked like the photo on the left has become beautiful as shown in the photo on the right. What's truly inspiring is how all these achievements were made possible by individuals coming together. The relentless motivation from HWPL and IPYG team and the dedication from every individual, from minister to university students, had made this work possible. This journey has shown that when we united with the shared purpose of peace with gain a heart, nothing is impossible. Our public peace art project will continue until our entire city shines with peace. May my words today ignite the flame of aspiration within each of you working for peace with its WPL and IPYG. Once again, I extend profound gratitude to Chairman Lee of its WPL, whose visionary leadership sparked our collective zeal for peace and tireless dedication of the HWPL and IPYG volunteers, the State Minister of Timor-Leste, and every individual whose unwavering commitment has foreseen this remarkable journey. We are one peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give a big round of applause again. Now let's listen to the presentation by President of We Can Group in Nepal, Mr. Rajan Panthi. He is also actively working as an HWPL publicity ambassador. He has been leading the We Can Group since 2015, and he has been working tirelessly to strengthen the capacity of young people and protect the vulnerable. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Namaste and warm greeting to all the youth leaders gathered from all around the world and SWPL support staff here. I'm extremely happy and grateful to be invited at 9th anniversary of September 18th SWPL World Peace Summit here in Korea. The process to come to this event wasn't easy. There were a lot of difficulties to overcome, but I'm glad I'm finally here. I would like to take the time and express my sincere gratitude to SWPL and IPYG for selecting me as a speaker, and it's honor to express my views and plans for youth engagement and peace building working group YEPW in Nepal on the topic implementation of extensive peace clubs for sustainable development. I'd like to share how come I worked for SWPL for 7 years with sincere passion for peace. Being a social work student and soft-hearted man, I always have passion and motivation to do something impactful for the society. When I got a chance to listen to Chairman Lee in person in 2018, his every word gave me a strong motivation and encouragement to continue doing peace works. So I always make our chairman as a role model to every young people in Nepal, as they can also be motivated. After I was convinced that SWPL has the answer for peace, I promised to become the peace messenger and help SWPL to achieve the world peace since 2016. I have been carrying out various IPYG peace activities in my local area, Pokhara, with my Weekend Group team. Speaking as a president of Weekend Group, it is a service-oriented non-profit and non-governmental organization based on youth. We conducted, so talking about the activities we have done, we have conducted Declaration for Peace and Cessation War, DPCW support signature campaign, and managed to collect over 3,500 signatures in Pokhara by photo campaign, peace talk show, peace cycling. I can confidently say that it attracted a lot of youth interested in peace initiative of SWPL. And I will not stop doing the peace activities and spread peace until the peace is achieved in a true manner with SWPL. So I and my team, We Can Group, have planned the detail of YEPW activities for next year. The goal of YEPW is to make a culture of peace through youth network. Networking of youth through various schools and youth club help youth to explore the true peace and realize what they can do as a peace messenger and develop peaceful attitudes, creating a culture of peace in the family, schools, society, country, and in the global village. Especially, Nepal is a very beautiful nation in the world, and my city, Pokhara, is regarded as the tourism capital of Nepal. However, we have faced a lot of problems regarding young people. Among many problems, I would like to focus on two major problems. Drug abuse is one of the serious social problems in my city. Young people easily get involved in a drug use because of mainly unemployment, peer pressure, and lack of awareness. And it causes violence, homeless, loss of employment, and failures in school, etc. The another one is lack of civic consciousness. Civic consciousness influences the progress of the state and society. Due to absence of civic consciousness, people become selfish, and all activities are pursued solely for their own achievement, and it leads to a major problem that can harm others. On a smaller scale, this includes issues like a problem like waste management and traffic jams due to lack of effective traffic management measures. On a larger scale, it causes confusion in the social system. That's why we make a IPYG to solve this issue through youth network. In order to make a youth network in Nepal, we already signed SWPL Peace Education MOUs with 10 schools in Pokhara till August for students and 4 youth clubs which are ready to work IPYG like Lions Club, Road Track Club for young people signed IPYG applications as well. We will hold a series of regular meeting and workshops in these schools for the better understanding of SWPL and IPYG plans. After conducting peace clubs in each school, we will do various peace activities such as peace talk show, peace competition, and provide YEPC education to students. And we believe that students who realize the importance of peace and their role for society start doing social work as well. With youth club and students, we will contribute to society by conducting society cleaning campaign and practical traffic awareness. Rather than working for society in my society in city, we'll try to collaborate with the local government so they can implement IPYG in rural area as well. Through the series of activities, we believe that we can get a step closer in creating a culture of peace. And we will hold a workshop regarding the CBA consciousness for improvement of mentality of young people. Personally, I have already taken IPYG and I found the education is very important for every individual around the world. Looking at the current situation of my country, major problem is people's mentality, which means people know the exact root for the problem and issues. But while decision times comes through election, they vote to the same person whom their parents used to vote or relatives used to vote. I believe that to promote the development of our Nepal, it is necessary to increase the civic awareness based on rational decision making. So I'm pretty sure if we set this IPYG agenda and curriculum to today's youth and students, I know that day will come where my country will have a prosperous and happy people. Another major issues are political instability, brain drain, unemployment, for which IPYG will play major role to resolve this issue. Thus, for it, we have to expand our wings, and huge expansion can only play a role to solve this issue. Being the messenger of peace, I am very much passionate and enthusiastic for IPYG and its curriculum, and I will do my best to implement it and as many institutions as possible. There is huge political instability in my country due to which many peoples are in dark situation. So from this podium, I would like to request Chairman Lee to come to my country, Nepal, being the light for us. As long as we continue working for peace as one day whole world will come together as one and true peace will achieved and remain with each other forever, like Chairman Lee said. Lastly, I want to share one thought. Do the different things while they are easy and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Let's be a peace messenger. Let's do it. We are one. Kamsamida. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give a big round of applause again. Now let's listen to the presentation by Project Director of IPYG Mongolia. Ms. Kulan is in place of Ms. Enkbayar Zarigbatir, the Executive Director of the Mongolian Youth Council. Unfortunately, the Executive Director, due to unavoidable circumstances, could not attend this event. In her absence, Ms. Kulan, who is actively involved in the project at IPYG Mongolia, will be delivering the presentation on her behalf. Please give her a big round of applause.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Holen, the Project Director of IPYG Mongolian branch. I will give a presentation on behalf of Ms. Enkbayar Zorigbatir the Executive Director of the Mongolian Youth Council. Ms. Dorkbatter was unable to attend this event today due to visa issues, so as a project director working with her, I'm giving you a presentation on her behalf. It is an honor to attend this global conference for me and to give a speech about the Mongolian YEPW project. Mongolia is a landlocked country in Central Asia located between China and Russia. It is also a country that has had many historical and cultural exchanges with Korea since ancient times. As it is famous by its nomadic people, if you come to Mongolia, you will be able to see horse riders, gear traditional circular dwelling, and see majestically beautiful nature. Mongolia is dominated by young generation with a total population of about 3.3 million as of 2021, of which 62% are under the age of 35. Especially young people aged between 15 and 25 account for about 30% of the total population, so the participation of young people and the impact of their voices on society are crucial. Let me introduce the Mongolian Youth Council that is in cooperation with IPYG. Since the voice of young people is important in Mongolia, Mongolian Youth Council is carrying out various activities for institutional development for youth competency development and social participation. In particular, the Mongolian Youth Council delivers their voices so that the voices of young people can be actively reflected in the youth-related laws adopted by the government. I think young Koreans' participation in their society is a good example. And I think young people are speaking out in many ways according to the principles of democracy. Because young people are an important group that can change the society. IPYG and the Mongolian Youth Council will continue activities to strengthen Mongolian young people's participation in society and their empowerment. Mongolian Youth Council had a cooperation with IPYG by attending 2 conferences held in the first half of the year. Since the goals of Mongolian Youth Council and IPYG matched, Mongolian Youth Council deeply agreed with the content and purpose of the conference, and I thought that the Peace Walk event held on May 28 in Mongolia increased the participation of many young people in the community. Therefore, Mongolian Youth Council and IPYG agreed to work together in order to increase participation of Mongolian young people to climate change. Desertification is one of the problems Mongolia is facing. Especially recent climate changes are making this problem serious. Due to climate change, deserts, which accounted for 40% of Mongolia's land until the 1990s, expanded to 78%. Desertification is reducing farmland, reducing plant resources, and causing visible food problems. As agricultural production decreases, urban concentration of population occurs, and secondary problems such as unemployment and unstable security are happening in densely populated cities. Mongolia's climate crisis is a problem faced by all members of society, but it is becoming more direct and serious for young people who will live longer. The first and secondary problems caused by desertification that I told you earlier are becoming a social threat that the young people have to overcome. To solve this problem, Mongolia's president has started a campaign to plant 1 billion trees in the whole country. In reality, however, people do not know much about tree planting activities and lack interest. I heard that in the 1970s, there was a seminal movement to improve people's lives and improve the environment. It is surprising that the government led the campaign and people actively participated. and it resulted in the development of the country. That achievement gave us the motive to start this campaign. As a result, our young people are more interested in the Mongolia's desertification problem for themselves and future generations, and they are determined to achieve peace and development in Mongolia through their participation. Based on this, we started the Green Wave of Peace in Mongolia project. Through this project, we will increase the participation of young people to fight desertification in Mongolia. This activity will be more developed through YEPW and our network. In June, HWPL and IPYG planted 50 trees in Mongolia's national park as a symbol of the start of the project, and 10,000 families of peace attended this event. There is also a marker stone with the spirit of HWPL ceremony. The young people who attended the event promised to organize YEPW for this activity, and they promised to plant 10,000 trees together as a project of YEPW. I believe this project will be a great cause of peace which can affect many people in the future. As you can see in the picture, it is now a resting place of peace where citizens can spend their leisure time and think about the environment. Moreover, we don't think this activity is just about planting trees. I believe that this project will be the starting point for young people, the future of Mongolia, to love the environment, cooperate together, achieve sustainable peace, and develop the country. According to the YEPW annual plan, we will hold seminars on the climate crisis, promote many things needed for young people and society, and hold workshops to discuss and solve problems together. Also, I will create a youth participation club in the university and promote it with young people. We plan to continue tree planting campaigns and volunteer activities. We also plan to provide ecological education, such as planting and growing trees according to the season. Through previous IPYG events where we felt love, pride for Mongolia, many young people were impressed. And now YEPW, which currently includes 12 civic groups and youth groups, is organized. Since it has already started, we will overcome the difficulties by discussing each other and finding ways. Many young people and citizens are also interested in this project, and thankfully there are suggestions and requests that they can donate their land and plant trees. Young people are the future of the country, and they have infinite potentials. At this time, I'm really happy to create network with many young people through IPYG, which has clear plans for a peaceful world. Through the Mongolian Samul movement, the Green Wave of Peace in Mongolia, led by young people of Mongolia, we will work together to keep beautiful nature and achieve a peaceful world. We are one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Let's give the 4 presenters another round of applause. Thank you. Now we will have a Q&A session. We have prepared 5 questions in total. First, I will ask a question to Mr. Noah Amrano. This is a question from Vice President of Creative Youth Group, Mr. Amir Siddiqui. In your role as Secretary General of the United Nations Youth Association of Kenya, what strategies or initiatives do you believe are most effective in promoting lasting peace, especially among youth?
Thank you. Sorry for that. As the Secretary General of the United Nations Association of Kenya, I believe the following strategies and initiatives are effective in promoting peace among youth. So we have education for peace, and through implementing peace education programs in schools and communities to teach conflict resolution, tolerance, and human rights. We also have youth empowerment actively involving young people in decision-making processes, ensuring their perspectives are included in peace-building efforts. We also have skills development, which is providing training in communication, negotiation, leadership skills to equip young people with tools to resolve conflicts peacefully. And then finally, we have youth-led initiatives, which has to do with supporting and funding youth-led peace projects that address local issues and involve the community. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Next, I will ask a question to Professor João Antonio Suarez. This is a question from Finance and Investment Secretary of Zambia National Students Union, Mr. Emmanuel Sakala. What are some of the best practices that we can adopt in order to promote world peace?
Thank you. I think collaboration is the key. Collaboration among youth, leaders of religion, government officials, and NGOs. There is limitation of we just do something alone. But when different sectors come together as one for the noble cause of peace, we can do everything. That is also the power of YEPW.
Thank you for your answer. Next, I will ask for Mr. Rajan Panthi. This is a question from Startup Program Coordinator of Energy Lab Cambodia, Ms. Dane Ross. What impacts have been made in the community and among youths in Nepal following the signing of the HWPL Peace Education MOU?
Thank you for the question. So I have to be honest. So to be honest, like it's been only some days or month we have done the MOUs with schools and other organizations. So initially we have been to like lots of schools and colleges and the clubs. They were very much excited looking the curriculum, looking all the factors of YEPW. So they were very much excited. So till yet the organization of the schools which we have done, so they were very, very much excited. So they are, especially the schools, they want their students to be educated with YEPW. So hopefully, like in the coming days, it will be more. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Next, I will ask for Ms. Hulan. This is a question from Secretary General for Information of Youth for Peace, Mr. Zola Parfit. Especially, I heard that the problem caused by climate change is serious in Mongolia. In that sense, I think the project you're working on is very practical. And can you suggest some ways to cooperate with global youth to overcome the climate crisis?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, there are many ways we can contribute against the climate crisis, but the most important thing is sincerity on the will to act and active participation. The participation of young people and the impact their voices on society is of utmost importance. This is the place where we live for long, so we must raise our voices to get our country's leaders to make actions. And I believe that by showing the participation and results of Mongolian youth through YEPW, or disseminating them through IPYG's network, we will be able to provide good inspiration to global youth as well. This inspiration will serve as motive for climate crisis action. We hope that through this inspirational wave, many young people will become interested in the climate crisis and participate in peace activities. I hope that Mongolia will set as a good example for developing peace. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. The last question is directed to all four of you. There are not many opportunities for young people around the world to network. What does this conference mean to you today? And what do you want to say to the young people who are here?
Thank you so much. To me, the HWPL and IPYG Peace Conference represents a beacon of hope for young people around the world. It signifies a unique opportunity for global networking, fostering connections and promoting peace. To the young people present here today, I would like to say that this conference is a platform where you can collaborate, share ideas, and work together towards a more peaceful world. Let's seize this chance to build bridges, cultivate understanding, and collectively strive for a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you for the second question. I mean that why YEPW is very effective. It gives young people to contribute to peace through networking and collaboration. That's why conference sharing the best peace practices is also very precious. For young people, I want to say the world needs war no more. It's our time for the youth to contribute to peace and development of your country. Let's begin the game change of our country. We are one piece. Thank you, Kansamira.
So, well, thank you so much for the question. The thing is like, what about the event? Everyone in this hall are for some motive, and everyone here is for like to gain something, to gain the information, connectivity and all. So about me, I'm here for, I believe like this event will increase my 4 factors I have written. It's empowerment, obviously. This event will empower me, and the more responsibility I will gain. Second word is the representation. Obviously, when I represent my country as a guest speaker in this event, obviously this will inspire other youth to involve more on a peace. So that's the second one. And the third one is building inclusivity. So there are lots of other the wings, like the women wings, religion, and the law. So we'll get to know a lot about those factors, and we'll obviously have a good collaboration. And another, lastly, I believe long-term stakeholder. This event will obviously ensure more stable and endure the peace. So I believe this is very much important. So lastly, like involving in this peace conference is not only the matter of justice and representation, but also the pragmatic approach to addressing conflict and building a more peaceful future. Thank you.
So we don't have many youth networking opportunities worldwide. Most of our activities are confined to our own countries. However, today youths from various countries have come together to participate in this conference and amplify their voices. Given our limited networking opportunities, this youth conference presents a significant chance to establish connections through IPYG. With IPYG branches spanning across the globe, this organization can serve as our bridge to bring together youth from all corners of the world. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. This concludes the Q&A session. Thanks to the presentations by the 4 young leaders today, we will be able to get some good ideas on how to implement the Global Youth Engagement and Peacebuilding Working Group. Let's give another round of applause to the messengers of peace who shared their precious stories. Yes, the Youth Engagement and Peacebuilding Working Group, YEPW, a global youth working group, is actively promoting national cooperation and education to enable young people to break free from violence and conflicts and coexist peacefully. As the era of youth-led peace approaches worldwide, we envision a generation of young people who care for and respect one another. We support young people of IPYG who learn from each other and work as one across countries, races, and religions to achieve peace in the global village. I believe that the powerful energy to break down all boundaries that cause conflict and being united for one purpose comes only from a desire for peace. The desire for peace will be a common wish of all mankind. Especially, it is very meaningful that young people around the world will lead the 21st century, speak with one voice to end the global war, and leave peace as a legacy for future generations. Now, this is a special gift prepared for you who have worked hard for peace. 22 young people from IPYG have prepared a drum performance with a message of support for young people around the world. It is said that the sounds of the drums express the passion and enthusiasm of young people around the world who wish for peace. Please welcome IPYG's Drumbeat of Peace with a big round of applause. president of HWPL always tell young people that young people can do anything, and if they set their minds to it, they can do anything? When he announced the Declaration of World Peace in front of the Peace Gate in Seoul, South Korea in 2013, the 30,000 citizens who were there were also young people from 130 countries. Since our young people were present at the scene where peace was declared, I hope that our young people will be at the forefront in achieving peace. Today's International Youth Peace Conference, held to commemorate 9th anniversary of the September 18th HWPL World Peace Summit, will end here. As this is the conference that is held every year for the solidarity and cooperation of young leaders around the world, I look forward to seeing you again next year in a bright and healthy state with precious fruits for peace. Thank you.